We often say many things without thinking, and because we repeat them enough, they start to sound like they're true. Today, we are going to do something different. We are taking those small, everyday claims and testing them against real science. No myths after this, just plain science and a little stubborn curiosity. So, are you ready? Good. Let us begin. Myth 1. Metal is colder. You pick up a metal spoon and it soaks the warmth out of your hand. You run your finger along a wooden table and it feels, well, friendlier. Both objects are in the same room at the same temperature. So why does the metal feel colder? The answer is heat transfer. Temperature measures how much kinetic energy the atoms in an object hold. Thermal conductivity measures how fast heat moves through a material. Metal is a superb conductor. Wood is not. When your warm skin touches metal, heat rushes from your skin into the metal. The temperature of the metal does not have to be lower to feel cold. Your nerves are extremely sensitive to how fast your skin temperature changes. If heat leaves your skin rapidly, your brain signals cold. If heat leaves slowly, you barely notice. Imagine dipping your hand into two pools of the same temperature water. One pool has a strong current pulling heat away from your hand. That one will feel colder, even though the temperatures match. That is the same trick metal is playing. So when someone says, metal is cold, correct them gently with conductivity. Metal feels colder because it steals your heat faster, not because it has a secret chill. Myth 2. Rain makes you sick. This myth is part weather lore, part parental warning, and it has kept umbrellas in business for centuries. Illness is caused by pathogens, not by water. Viruses and bacteria do the infecting. Rain itself does not deliver viral infection into your bloodstream. Why then do more people seem to fall ill when it rains or when it gets cold and wet? It's because of the behavior. Rainy weather drives people indoors. Indoors, ventilation is often poorer. People cluster together, and close proximity makes it easier for someone to inhale droplets or aerosols from an infected person. Transmission rates rise not because of the water, but because we change how we behave in the wet. There's also another part to the story. Prolonged exposure to cold and wet conditions can be physiologically stressful. If you are soaking wet, shivering, and exhausted for a long time, your immune system may be less resilient. That can increase susceptibility, but it is just a risk amplifier, not the cause itself. The direct cause is the pathogen you encountered at some point. So if your umbrella keeps you dry, but does not keep you away from contagious people in a crowded bus, the umbrella only helped you with comfort, not infection risk. Myth 3. You lose most of your body heat through your head. This one has a military origin story and a tendency to become gospel. The simplified version goes something like, a soldier stands in the cold wearing all his clothing except a hat, he gets cold, and the hatless head loses heat. From that experiment, someone wrote a headline, you lose most heat through your head, and the headline stuck. The truth is far less dramatic and much simpler. Heat loss depends on exposed surface area and insulation. Your head is not a heat magnet, it only seems so when it is the biggest exposed part. If you cover your head and leave your arms bare, your arms will take the crown for heat loss. Think of your body like a house. Heat escapes where the insulation is weakest and where there are gaps. If you patch the roof but leave the windows open, the windows become the dominant problem. Covering your head helps, especially in windy conditions, because any exposed skin loses heat. But hats are not magical, and they do not override the need for overall good insulation. So stop treating your head like a thermal trader. It is just one part of a whole. Myth 4. Sugar makes kids hyper. This one might feel close to home. Parties, cupcakes, a sudden crop of bouncing children, parents and teachers point the finger at sugar. It seems an easy target, but controlled experiments tell a different story. Multiple randomized studies have compared the behavior of children given sugar to that of those given placebos that looked and tasted identical. Observers, sometimes the parents themselves, usually could not tell the difference in activity. The sugar did not cause a consistent, measurable spike in hyperactivity. So, what does cause the sugar party effect? It depends. Birthday parties are exciting, energetic environments full of novelty. There is noise, games, and social stimulation. Those factors drive behavior far more than the composition of the cupcakes. Perception also plays a role. If an adult expects sugar to cause hyperactivity, they are more likely to perceive and report increased activity. But this doesn't mean sugar is a healthy food. It just means that the myth linking sugar to immediate hyperactive behavior is not supported by careful experimental evidence. Myth 5. Goldfish have a 3-second memory. The image is irresistible, a tiny fish swimming in circles, forgetful, trapped in a tiny time loop of 3 seconds. It is cute, but false. Goldfish are capable of learning and remembering associations for months. Experimental setups train goldfish to expect food at certain times or to navigate mazes for rewards. They learn and retain those behaviors. If a goldfish remembers a feeding schedule or recognizes the person who feeds it, its memory is doing far more than 3 seconds of work. This myth probably survives because it makes us feel clever when we laugh at a forgetful pet. But in truth, goldfish cognition is more substantial than the caricature allows. Myth 6. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Hands get cracked, fingers pop, and people give you judgmental looks. The popping sound is the collapse of gas bubbles in the joint fluid when the joint is rapidly expanded. It is called cavitation. The sound is dramatic. The instinct is to equate drama with damage. But long-term observational studies do not support a link between habitual knuckle cracking and arthritis. That is not a license to be rough on your hands. Excessive or aggressive manipulation can irritate tissues, but the benign little pop from stretching a joint is not the same as progressive joint degeneration. So this leaves us to the conclusion that these everyday beliefs survive because they contain just enough plausibility to go unchallenged. Intuition is powerful, but it is also lazy. It builds stories to explain sensations and then repeats those stories until they feel earned. These are not glamorous revelations. They are, however, freeing. Once you know the mechanism, you stop being surprised by simple phenomena and you gain new power to explain the world to others without sounding like a lecture. You sound like someone who checks the story before believing it. If you like this, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.